Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is the place where I make things that you play with. Yes, I got it right. So I know this is kind of like a video that I don't tend to do a lot, but I decided why not. So this video today is about my both my you guys have heard a lot about my successes, but there's also another side that you don't know of, is my failures. And you guys are probably asking, Ray, why are you showing me this? Well, I want to show you that in as much as you have successes in life, sometimes you kind of have failures, and this is what I just want to show you today. So where do I start from? Okay, I'm just going to start from in order. This has no order. I'm just going to mention things. So I guess I can start from the first one. So the first game I ever made was called MTP Numbers, and plot twist, it made me nothing. Like zero bob, zero. You see, zero cash, zero bob. It made me nothing, and I didn't really care at the time about any money or anything that I was going to achieve with it. If anything, I got 10 downloads in the Play Store. That was pretty much it. And I didn't really care at the time. I was just proud that I was able to make something that you can play with, And from MTP Numbers, which was released back in 2018, I can say the list of failures doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. It actually continues. Funnily enough, it continues, and let me go on before I start doing other things. So number 2 was called Thicker Road Run. It did about the same numbers, 15 downloads, made me nothing. And you went to Skyfly, A Plains World. I released that back in 2019, and I made like a list of 100 games, which I'd say collectively probably at most, and I don't even think it earned this, probably earned me like $1. Like, just you see $1, and to me at the time I was like, I don't really care. I'm just enjoying my life. If anything, I didn't think I would achieve anything with this. I thought that maybe it will just fade away. And at the time, I remember, I came from a household where, let's say, mothers are not very like pro how do I say this? Okay, they didn't like gaming, in short, as in playing game, whether it's playing or making, they didn't like it. Like, I remember there's a time there was a time my mother took my PS2. If you guys know what a PS2 is, like, if you're my age, you probably know what a PS2 is. Like, back then, that was like the console to have. So you can imagine, I used to play like every single, I don't know whether you guys know Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. You see that game? I used to play it like every single weekend, like 10 hours probably straight. And maybe it was not such a good thing, and I can see why probably my mother ended up taking it. And but I guess what she didn't understand is I wasn't really playing it because I was just having fun. I was very fascinated with like the graphics and everything, like how did they do all this. I was a kid though. I thought it was something so complex. Okay, maybe now I don't see it so complex. Maybe it's still complex, but anyways, yeah, that's what happened. My PS2 just went. Imagine to this day I've never like ever seen it. It just disappeared with no thing. And that's when I think I switched to PC. So yeah, I came from a household that gaming was not very encouraged until I think I was older, which is weird. It's like as I grew older, they got to understand what it is, and then they were like, yeah, just yeah, go on. Or maybe they were like, this boy can actually make something out of it. Go on. We want you to be buying us things. I don't know, maybe something like that. But yeah, I guess I came from a household that was like that. So you can imagine at the time you're making all these games, they're making you nothing. And then my mom would see me doing things on the computer and she's like, Ray, what are you doing? You know? She's like, where will these games take you? Blah, 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 something like that. And I was like, maybe she's... At the time I was like, maybe she's right, maybe she's not. But then I just kept going because I was like, you should never ever give up for what you believe in and what you stand in. I guess what changed them is that one time they went to Germany and they like saw the whole thing is not just... There's this thing that people say gaming is just for kids, and I'm like, but they make rated games which are rated 18. So I'm like, who are they making for? Anyway, I guess maybe they saw it's a big thing and they were like, okay, you know what, you can do this, but there's a way I would want you to do it. I would want you to try and make it educational. And this leads me, I guess, to my next part, which is where I guess I can say I started seeing the successes. So all this time I've just been making Android games because that's where I started from. Then I decided to like make a big leap to PC. Yeah, the big boy PC, make big PC games. And the first one I ever did was Left Alone. Still made me nothing, but here's the significant part. I had at least, it was the first game I ever had at least 100 active players, like per month, which is quite crazy. I was like, holy moly, people like this. And it was kind of like a horror game, so I was like, oh, so people do like this type of thing. So I was like, okay, let me go on. So then I went on to make Fast Nairobi. No, before Fast Nairobi. Oh yes. When I was back when I was in ZTech, we had this hackathon, like a competition for making apps, and it was like how can you use technology to solve real life problems. And then people are like, you can use anything, you can do anything, you just make something that can solve a problem. So I made a game that basically just teaches you about how to solve climate change. Like if you see like waste, you should like you can like take a photo, and each time you collect things like waste, each time you do something that is climatey, that makes sense, like contributes to making the climate or making the world a better place, you earn points. It had like a point system. You earn points, and and you can get rewards in the game, or you can transfer it out to cash. I didn't finish the last part though, but I was happy. So, and then I remember we were like, I think we were like 7, 8 guys, maybe 10. Let me say 10 at least. And I remember I was the first one to present, and I'm like, the judges like it. But then I'm seeing these other guys, they have got like complex things. In fact, there was a guy who had actual hardware to work with his software, and I was like, damn, where did you get all this time to make even the hardware? Like, he had this I don't know whether it was like a watch or something that could detect, what was it? I guess it could detect when like your bag, you see your backpack, when your backpack is being ramsackled, how do you say? Okay, when someone is trying to steal something from your backpack, it could like detect. And I was like, where did you come up with all this? I was like, holy moly, like everyone is doing something complex, and I'm just here with just like a game. I'm like, will I win this? So they call out like the top 5. So they start from number 5. I'm like 4. I'm like, there it is. I told you I wouldn't make it to top 5. I was even seated with some friends. I was like, I told you I wouldn't make it to top 5. And then number 2, and I'm like, surely I cannot make it to number 1. I'm already out. Then I'm like, I start packing my laptop, going, and I hear number 1. I'm like, RayFrank. I just paused. I looked around, like me, I won. So I walk through people, and then I like stand on the podium, and then everybody's like clapping, and I'm like, did this actually happen? Interesting. So I just was just like nodding, and then I like gave a small speech. And then I remember someone was like, Ray for president! And then I was just like, miserable job. My famous statement. And yeah, it was quite surprising because I learned a lot from that hackathon. I didn't think that I would have something that people would like. So you're probably asking the important part, what did you get? I got like a gift pack from Huawei. They were like small gadgets, chargers, cups, hats, things like that. Like just things that you would randomly use, mouse, keyboard, things like that. Like peripherals that you don't normally go out to buy them, but you use them every day, if that makes sense. And I remember there was a cyber security company there that wanted to keep in touch, like to get a job there. But then I was like, I'm not an expert in cyber security, so, and then I was still a student, and I was like, I don't think I can take this. It was both a blessing and I can't say curse, but yeah, it was both good and bad at the same time, because who knows what would have happened anyways if I took it, but I'm glad probably that I didn't take it, because better opportunities came, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was a nice one. That was my first ever game jam, can't believe it. Then I released a game called Fast Nairobi. This is the first time I ever made like a car game or some type of that thing, and that one flopped. People didn't like it. It was like the first game I received negative reviews. Yeah, so I learned, I moved on, and fast forward to May 2020. I make this World War II with Geronimo. It was like a game based on World War II, but set in the modern day, if that makes sense. I released this in like May 2020, and you're probably asking how much I made. I made like 500 bob at most. Yeah, because I only sold it like to 4 or 5 people. Well, it had 2 options. It had the free version and it had the paid version. The paid version now made 500 shillings, and the other one like just made nothing because it's free. Then I can say towards November I entered another competition, and it was by Startup Cities. It was a global game jam, and the prize money was, I think it was 200k. Yeah, it was 200k, and I was like, that's a lot of money. I can use that if I can win something like that. That's on a global level. Then I see like 300 people have signed up, and I'm like, damn. I'm like from like all over all over the world. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a little bit hard to pull off. So you're waiting for the part where I won, yeah? Nope, this one I didn't win, but I got a lot from it. I mean, I met some nice Spanish people. There was a boy and a girl. I think the girl was called Melina or something. Melania. I can't remember her. But yeah, I met they were really nice. And then you're asking, I know you're probably asking how I did. Well, I placed 30th out of 300, which is not bad in my opinion. I really wanted to win, but I was very devastated. It was like, and I put all this, like, I spent 2 days making a game, and then I'm like, but yeah, people really liked my game. I got positive reviews. I made a game based on Hunger Games. Yeah, I don't know, COVID really made me make weird games, but yeah, I made a game based on Hunger Games. But it was fun. I liked it. I learned a lot. Then I released one of my most popular games. I think this one had like probably 500 active players. It was Mau the Uprising. Now this one was like, oh yeah, even here's the actual gameplay. This one was like the first ever super realistic game I've ever done, like with blood, historically accurate, kind of, yeah. So this was like the first game where I was like, there's a lot of things, and part 2 is coming, by the way. Yeah, so part 1 ran from December 2020 to April 2021. I kept updating it until April 2021, and then I'm going to make a second update that's going to come out in 2022. Yeah, so the game made me like, how much? It was probably almost 1k, somewhere there, because I wasn't keen on monetizing it. I was just like, make it free to play. And then fast forward, and I made so after that I made an educational game, my first ever like educational game, that was it was about agriculture. Like, it was about teaching you how to plant, how to do this. Like, kids in grade 4 probably would understand what the game is about. Like, you would plant, it would teach you things about agriculture basically, like, and then it had like reward systems and all. So that was like the game in general. And I submitted it through my dad's company, Mountaintop. My dad's and mom's company, Mountaintop. And for some reason, the government liked it, and they were willing to buy it. Like, damn. Then I asked, well, how much? Then I remember my dad was like, well, they're quoting about 5.3 million. I'm like, that was my face. I was like, what? Damn. So I can actually earn something like that. Like, yeah. And then my mom was like, you need to make for us more, not just grade 4, grade 5, 6. She was already seeing that you can gross up to 15 million a year. I was like, whoa. Yeah, so they ended up purchasing it, and this was like my first ever big break, and I was like, wow. It was like the first big break like I think I ever had, and it was quite crazy to even imagine that I really could do something like that, you know. So they ended up buying it, and now what is crazy is that grade 4 kids are going to use this as a supplementary material to learn, which is quite crazy. It still shocks me to this day, you know. And yeah, it was one of the biggest breaks I had. So fast forward to when, where are we? We are in. Bro, why is this thing trying to make me look like I'm light skinned? Anyways, so we fast forward to June, July 2021. This was I can say this was a flop. I started I had this idea for a radio show that would talk about gaming and tech. So I applied to 254 radio, and they gave me space with my partner to do the show. So unfortunately, like, when my partner didn't get along that much, God bless her soul. And the show was actually called Uncut with Ray and Mayo. I don't know if you guys remember. We didn't really get along that much, and unfortunately we had to end the show. And I was not like seeing, this was like the first things where I kind of regret doing. But then I'm like, it's life. I kind of wished that I probably focused on making more games instead of trying to start something that was out of my sphere. So because I did spend money on trying to make the show run. It was not even averaging like 50 listeners per show. So it's unfortunate that it didn't work out, and the fact that I didn't even get paid for it is also a sad part. But yeah, you know what? You learn, you move on. Yeah, I don't always have W's. Sometimes you have L's in your life, and you just take them. There's nothing much you can do about the L's. And then we fast forward to August. Yeah, I'd say August. So in August, I entered another game jam, and this one was being run by GS Studios, and I submitted a game called Into the Night. Same style, same dark theme like this one here, and I didn't think I would win. In fact, Max, the CEO of GS Studios, called me just to confirm that this is actually me who made it, because he didn't believe it. And I was like, damn, okay, but I don't think I'll win. So I was seated at the we were on holiday with my family, and we were just seated down over there, and then I was just listening to the awards being given. I remember number 1, Into the Night from RayFrank's Games, and I'm like, yeah. I just start celebrating, and I'm like, whoa. And I won around almost, I think it was 9k. Yeah, I got 9k out of it, which is quite amazing, and I'm very thankful for them. because now they're like my main distribution partners. They help me distribute my games. I'm glad I met GS Studios, by the way. If any employees from GS Studios, I'm glad I met you. Let's keep making more fun games, if that makes sense. So fast forward to August, September, October. Yeah, October. October. What did they do in October? Did you do anything in October? No. October, November. Is it November? Yeah, November. So November, I join in. I join in like. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. Jiwe Game Jam was just Kenyan. It was out of Kenya. So I joined Africa Comic Kid. Now this one was African, like African game developers from around Africa coming to like compete. And I was like, whew, this one's going to get a little bit tough. And I see some good Nigerians, like really, really good, talented Nigerians. And I'm like, damn, will I realize this thing? And I'm like, okay. So, I start making a game called Ricochet, which just means to bounce back from life, because I always believe you can always bounce back in life. And I remember when I was doing the game, I think it's the game that I got most support out of, like making. And I was just like nodding my head. I'm like, yo, you guys really support. In fact, I remember my mom came into this room to pray for me. Like she was like, God, please make sure, because the price was like, the prize money was 100k. Imagine 100,000. What that can do to your life. It's all mine. I'm not splitting anything. You can imagine. So she comes here with my sister and my brother, and they pray for me. I've never seen that in my entire life. Like they prayed for me. It was something that I actually teared that day. And what I usually say is I'm not the most religious person. I'd say I'm spiritual, but that day I actually prayed with them. So it was quite crazy, you know. This family teaches me a lot of things. These guys, yeah, I'm very thankful. Shout out to you. Shout out to Kibis. Yeah, the Kibara clan. You guys are very, very. You're guys of many talents. So they end up praying for me, which is quite crazy. And then while I was doing it, I remember I saw a comment from my dad. Like the first ever time I saw my dad commenting in one of my videos, like, "Great visual, son," and I'm like, yes. As in, if you guys don't know, my dad is like my role model. So for him to actually even comment, it's crazy. You know. Yeah, it's something I didn't believe it. And then I had like so many, and I don't think of like so many people are like, you can do this, you can sending me nice messages. And I remember there's a good friend of mine, her name is Faith. She just like, I'd never seen someone outside my family like encourage me like that, you know. She just made me feel very, very encouraged and happy. Yeah. So I'm really grateful for that, you know. It was amazing, and I'm glad I met you. Yes, that's what I can say. And I would want to keep meeting you. gonna make this video weird. Anyway, what was I going to say? I don't know if it's weird. You guys tell me. But yeah, I'm just speaking from my heart. So the winners like get announced. I think this was around December or something. In a video, I was seated in the office, and I remember we were like at the lounge with my brother, and I think he was making a medium rare steak, and I was just seated there like waiting to see the announcement. So they start by number 3, number 2, and number 1 I see Ricochet, and I'm like, yes. So plot twist, I end up getting the reward. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go celebrate. So I take my family out, and yeah, I still have I have a lot to thank for. That's what I'm saying, and it's quite amazing that I met a lot of people in this industry. I didn't expect to meet really anyone. So that was a current one. Then fast forward to now, which I'm joining another global game jam. That's Jan 2022, right? And now I'm not entirely sure of all the details, but I joined these game jams for fun. I just enjoy making these games for fun. Yeah, sure, it's nice to compete, but the bottom line is I'm having fun. And yeah, it's quite nice to see how much. In fact, there are guys willing to hold for me the mouse, so in case something happens, they were like willing. They were like, "Where can I help? Can I help you press this key?" They were like, "Can I help you press enter? Like enter here." I'm like, "No, you don't need to do that." Yeah. So, what's the moral of this video? Oh yeah, you'll always have successes and you'll always have failures. That's the moral of this video. I just wanted to show you guys that you can do anything if you set your mind to it. I'm not yet still made it. I can't say that I've fully made it, because there's still a lot more I can achieve. Even whether it's at school, whether it's at work, yeah, there's still a lot more I can achieve. And what's even crazy is that I had one of these developers from Nigeria that there was a time I remember I felt like I was like overworking myself or something, and then it was like, you should take a break, don't really do anything. It was nice to hear from him too. I'm just mentioning random things, but yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you've learned something, maybe 1 or 2 things. Take care, guys. I will meet you the next time I make something that I play with. So Visca, ciao, bye. I need to go eat. Oh yeah, it's currently 1. I need to go eat something. I haven't eaten